Good afternoon and welcome back to the Naval Base Secondary School. In case you were with us for the first matchup, which was the third and fourth place finish in the B Division Girls North Zone Table Tennis Championships. Remember, this is the National School Games 2021. Well, you would have seen that Anderson High got the better of Nanchao, and in this, which is the finale. Now, these are the two teams that had defeated the third and fourth place finishers 3-0 respectively. They're very strong teams, and we're looking at St. Nicholas Girls High School of Secondary, facing off with Yishun Town Secondary. Both, as I said, are very, very strong contenders for the finale. Who will win for the championship, that is, who will win the championship? I think that's a big question, and it's something that we'll find out only as we progress in this event. So we are going to start off with the first singles event of the matchup. The toss being done, and let's get you acquainted in just a little bit with our contestants. And interestingly, I did have a very quick conversation with Joanna Little Sia of St. Nicholas Girls School Secondary. Chij, which of course translates the Convent of the Holy Infant Jesus Nicholas Girls School Secondary. And the only reason I'm sharing that with you is because it actually took me a while till I actually got into uni days to figure that out, and you're always looking at abbreviations and you just take them for granted without actually happening to see what those abbreviations mean. So Joanna Little Sia faces off with Angwan Yu. And this is in the first matchup. Angwan Yu is from Yishun Town Secondary School. Just a warm-up session will always make a difference when it comes to actually the girls trying to test out the waters to get used to what they're doing on the table. Remember, a rally and a warm-up is always a sign of things to come. You can get a view of what the players' playing style may be, and more importantly, what they bring well to the table in the event of the game. So very interestingly, remember, it's a best of 5 that we're looking at for each match. And first points, she'll be happy to pick them up. It's Angwan Yu of Yishun Town. But sometimes it just takes a little bit for a player to get their rhythm. And this time the points going in favor of Joanna, who's a point behind. But was trying to go in for the smash, but the net really letting her down. Did have a few words with the young ladies who are taking part in the event. Very sprightly lot, both of them. But right now, of course, it's Yishun Town's Won Yu who's leading by 7 points to 2. Very interesting. We shall find out how well the team progresses. You don't have too many left-handers in the competition today. I didn't see it in the 3rd and 4th place as well. But Joanna is who plays for St. Nicholas Girls High School Secondary. She is a left-hander. She loves to smash. Just had a few worrying moments in today's first game against Won Yu, who seems very calm and collected. Just that slight edge, but if it wins you a point, you're always going to take it. An unforced error there from Joanna will send the ball back into Won Yu's side of the table. And now sitting at first game point, the first set point, I'd say it's young Won Yu, but Joanna fighting back. She's just 3 points behind now. She's got the ability to pull in the shots when she needs to, and just a stroke of luck. And a timeout. The coach having a word there. And she'll definitely, Won Yu's coach will definitely want to tell her that she were racing away towards claiming the first game. You don't want to let that run out. She was doing everything right. But what's really happened is those unforced errors that were being pulled in by Joanna, she's changed them around. We'll have a little bit of information to give you on St. Nicholas High and their coach as Joanna talks to their coach. So here we have it. Joanna with the serve. Oh, that's a fine finish. Just opening up that arm totally, getting her left hand right, and was, as I said, just having a word with her before the game. She does love that so much, she said. For her, it's all about smashes, but what a beautiful return. Absolutely marvelous return there from Won Yu as she claims the first game. A counter shot to topspin and to win it. Very clean, very crisp. So Won Yu now leads by 1-0. Joanna Little's here. She will have to fight back as she gets back into the second set. But more credit and more power to her because Joanna did fight back. She did pull in the points. Won a few points on the trot to stay in the contest. Still early days. Remember, we're looking at a best of 5, so still a good bit of time. And the second set about to kick off as the umpire calls for attention and a call to action. Here it is. So Won Yu facing Joanna. And she'll be happy to have claimed the first points. Joanna. Seen a good bit of serve. The young girl from Yishun town. And she does know that Joanna likes to smash, so she's just tossing it up enough, but with that dose of spin added to it, which makes it difficult to actually get the ball back onto your opponent's side of the table, especially if you want to smash it. You want to counter that with a bit of spin sometimes. So important to counter spin when you're playing against a player who tends to throw in a good bit of turn. So leading by 4 points to 2 here, it's Angwan Yu. Sure didn't want to disturb that rally. Just let it run till, of course, an unforced error from Joanna put paid to it. Well, just a caution from the umpire. Well, don't forget what's very important, of course, is the certain rules that pertain to serve. Oh, lovely finish. Just a slight nudge and a good bit of topspin there with the backhand, and we've got a timeout that's been called. Joanna asking for the timeout. So here it is as it currently stands. Joanna leads. Joanna is behind. It's Angwan Yu who leads 6 points to 2. St. Nicholas will have to pack in as much as they can to step back into this game. Because currently in the lead, it's still the young girl from Yishun town. So here we are on to resume that second set. And she's had a few worries with just getting the ball back, losing a bit of concentration, Joanna. Well, don't forget that this is not the prelims, this is not the quarters of the semis. Whenever you're down to the finals, there's a good bit of pressure on these young ladies, and these are, well, young tender minds that we are looking at. Still a huge, well, plan in progress, if you ask me, whether it comes to being a table tennis player or even an individual who will, you know, take on the world in the social framework. It's so there's so much riding on them, and when they have to shoulder the responsibility, it can be a bit of a bother. So right now, Angwan Yu, very calm, very collected. She's been able to just keep enough of that, well, concentration. She's let Joanna make those unforced errors, and Joanna just looking a little bit pressured there. So as it currently stands, well, Angwan Yu in a comfortable position to claim the second game. Well, nicely chopped down, using just that gentle nudge, just the right amount of backspin that you require. Lovely. Absolutely marvelous work being done by the Yishun town representative, Angwan Yu. And she's claimed it. She's claimed the second one as well. So currently it is Yishun town secondary who lead by 2-0, and one more set, and they will have claimed the first game. A few worrying moments for Joanna, who just seems to have her concentration well affected just a little bit, and the coach will be trying his level best to get her back into focus. So stay with us right here as the action continues in the girls B division North Zone finals. as Chij St. Nicholas Girls' School Secondary and Yishun Town Secondary School face off. Very interesting battle, as we saw earlier. And a positive turn of events for Joanna getting into this third set. She's raced to 5 points over her Yishun Town secondary opponent. And it's so important for her just to keep her concentration. Did have a few worrying moments in the first 2 sets. She's coming back more stronger here. It's now 5-1, Joanna to serve. So firm lead, and this could work well for her if she sticks to that. When she's focused and concentrating, it's a different turn of events for Joanna. You can very clearly look at that. Oh, that's a beautiful rally. And this time the pressure now on Angwon Yu, who's had 2 very clear wins, but she's now 7 points behind. Lovely finish. That flick of the wrist, lovely backhand. Don't want to generate too much of spin into that, but so necessary. Joanna with her has got the ability. She's now 7 points ahead. So crucial here for her to keep her nerve together. And one of the the common thread between all the girls who are going to take part in today's contest is the ability to use that racket or the bat as a fan. It is hot for the players, especially because they do not have any sort of wind draft, which does affect the game, and easier for us guys to be sitting behind, where we've got a good bit of at least fans to keep us cool. So first game point, she's got quite a few game points actually, and interesting to see if she can pull this off, Joanna. Oh, what a finish! What a marvelous finish! Lovely forehand drive, a good bit of power behind that, and she claims the third set 11-4. So it's currently Joanna Little Sia with 1 set and Angwon Yu with 2 sets. What will be the outcome of the third set? Let's find out in just a little bit. So just a reminder that it is Joanna Little Sia who is playing Angwan Yu in the first match of the final between St. Nicholas Girls High School and Yishun Town Secondary School. And it is Yishun Town Secondary School, Angwan Yu, who won the first match 3-1 over Joanna Little Sia to claim the first event. We will get into the second event, which starts off in just a little bit, and that's going to be the first doubles matchup between the schools. Welcome back to the action right here at the Naval Base Secondary School as St. Nicholas Girls High School Secondary and Yishun Town Secondary launch into their first doubles battle. Remember that the first match was won by Yishun Town Secondary. And it's fairly interesting to know that in the doubles matchup, let's get you acquainted with the girls. For St. Nicholas, the girls whose back is, well, at the camera, you can see them, their names behind, Chij and Colleen. On the other side, it's Chij, who's got spectacles, and Alyssa Lim, who's representing Yishun Town Secondary. Very unassuming player, Alyssa Lim. She always looks like she wouldn't stretch the entire course of the game, but she's got a real whip of her forehand when she wants to use it, and you'll see that in action as she continues through this game. So right now, it's even Stevens, 3-all to be precise. Alyssa with the serve. Caution there from the umpire. Remember, you can lose points for a foul. Looking for the finish. That's exactly what she wanted, Colleen. But just couldn't get the ball back onto the surface. Few unforced errors for the Yishun Town Secondary young ladies. It was Chij with the serve. So 6-all. Not much has changed since, well, the four young ladies started playing off this game. It's been neck and neck. Remember, we are looking at a best of 5, and it's very important for them to really stay close to the opponent's score. You let your opponent get ahead of you by a few points, and it changes the outcome. Yishun Town Secondary. They will also have to keep their nerves together. Lovely move close to the net from Chij. Just tossing it up a little bit when they can. The girls from St. Nicholas. Was looking to finish that, but a bit unfortunate. She didn't have to really touch the ball. Lucky for her. Talking about Alyssa, because that one sailed out. Quick talk between Chij and Colleen. They've got a game plan. Chij serving it up, and I think they're really looking at, well, just tempting the girls from Yishun Town, and that's what they did. So first game point for Yishun Town Secondary. They'll have to claim it, and that's exactly what they've done. So Yishun Town Secondary winning the first set against St. Nicholas Girls High School Secondary. It was a very close finish, 11-9 from Chij and Alyssa over their opponents, Chij and Colleen Tan. So we're into the second game and the first doubles battle between St. Nicholas Girls High School and Yishun Town Secondary. It was a good start for Yishun Town because they won the first game. Well, just on the back foot as they've started off in this, well, second encounter with Chij and Colleen Khan. And just a few signs there from Chij to Colleen. Well, you do remember there's a call to the umpire. Or was it to the organizer? It's not, it's to a visitor. So do not be alarmed. All the umpires, of course, just putting a pause for a few seconds. Well, if you remember baseball and the signs always to the pitcher, not always very easy. Most often the lad with the bat doesn't get, the hitter never gets to know what's happening, and that's pretty much in this as well. So what's interesting here is that Chij and Colleen have come back with a game plan. They've come back with a return of strategy. Lovely finish, absolutely marvelous shot from Colleen Khan, really driving that forward. So it's St. Nicholas Girls High School that leads 7 points to 2. Yishun Town Secondary started off in a very, very commanding position in the first game. Well, it was a close-knit encounter towards the end, but they've just been behind in this one. Chij with the serve. She's done well, but she does get a caution regarding, well, the toss and the bat. The rules of table tennis more or less have stayed pretty much the same, except for the points changing, the actual toss of the ball, the height of the bat, a couple of things that have really been modified, I'd say, not really changed, to make the game more exciting, and that's what it's done. Oh, lovely finish. Jia just seems to have had enough of being smashed at, just returning the favor here. So now it's Yishun Town Secondary at 5, and Colleen serves for St. Nicholas, who are on 9 points. Oh, lovely return of serve there from Jia, but it looks like Colleen Khan and Chij won this game. How badly, we shall know as the game progresses. And it will be Jia to serve. 2 points behind the opponents now. That's where Yishun Town are. Always love a decent bit of spin. A foul or a reserve, that's so important in the points. And drawing level, Yishun Town Secondary. Well, I have been impressed. They were far behind. It's a quick timeout called. And this is the crucial point. The girls tied on 9 points each. Remember, Yishun Secondary was behind in this second set, but they seem to have come from behind. They're putting in maximum effort, and left to be seen if they can actually turn things around. Best of 5 is what we're looking at. Coach Wu in conversation with his team. Very interestingly, he's been with the school for around 18 to 20 years or more. And that really tells you. So the St. Nicholas Girls High School table tennis coach has been the same. So a lot of the girls I was talking to actually have trained under him when they were in primary, have trained under him as they've progressed to secondary, and he knows them so well. So here we are, resuming in the second set. It's at 9 each. And it will be Chij to serve for St. Nicholas Girls High. Wanted that finish. She really wanted that finish. Alyssa now at game point. So deuce. Deja vu all over again, like the first game. But now it's St. Nicholas Girls High to lead by a single point. And Alyssa just disappointed there, but she netted the last one. So it's St. Nicholas who claim the second game 12-10. And it's 1-all as far as the sets are concerned in the match. What will transpire in the next game? Remember, it's a best of 5 we're looking at. Stay with us as the action continues right here at the Naval Base Secondary School. Into the third game of the battle between Chij and Colleen Tan and Alyssa Lim and Jiaying Ung. What's very interesting, as I said earlier, is about the Yishun Town girls, including the first participant, Angwan Yu, when she came in. They are very unassuming. They just got that gentle gait like any other girls. But when you see that wrist move at lightning speed and you know the change, and then they turn into, well, just well-trained and practiced table tennis opponents. So yeah, we have it, leading by 3 points to 1. Colleen serving for St. Nicholas. And they will claim a point. There's Colleen back again. She and Chij do have a game plan, but I think the fault here was that Alyssa just putting a good bit of spin into that return of serve, and that didn't allow Chij to smash it back. So Yishun Town Secondary are still holding the lead here. Just a few unforced errors from the St. Nicholas girls. They will be looking for a timeout, and they've got it. A few unforced errors from them can actually change the outcome of this game, but it's a good bit of concentration required for that. And the girls from Yishun, well, town, getting a few words from their coach. Remember, Yishun Town Secondary School and Chij St. Nicholas Girls School did get to this stage of the contest in very much the same fashion. It was Yishun Town Secondary School that defeated Nanjiao Secondary High School 3-0, and St. Nicholas were defeated Anderson Secondary 3-0. But it was Anderson who did win the third place position earlier in the day over Nan Chiao. Yishun Town Secondary, just a smile there from Alyssa. She converses with her partner, and that is Jaing. Jaing unable to put it over the net. Well served. Quick sign from her partner Alyssa earlier. You'll almost think she was just reaching down to, well, adjust her socks or her shots, but actually she's always got a quick sign that'll tell her partner what to do. That's what Alyssa does at the time of serve. But right now it's Chij and Colleen. It's probably the camera angle which just allows me to see the St. Nicholas girls, well, deciding on their strategy or game plan more easily. And that's what they wanted. They want to come back into this game. It's now 5 points. Lovely move there from Chij. Great execution on the finish. Colleen to serve for St. Nicholas Girls High. Just the right amount of toss. Gets a good bit of spin on her shots, but this time Yishun Town at 9 points. That's exactly what I meant about Alyssa earlier. Very quick sign to her partner. And it's another game, a couple of set points actually for Yishun Town. And that's pretty much it. The second game also in the bag for Yishun Town. So they currently lead 2 games to 1. Very, very interesting finish as far as we're concerned. Now can St. Nicholas Girls High come back into this game, or will it be Yishun Town Secondary to win the doubles encounter as well? So into the fourth set of the doubles matchup between Chij and Colleen Khan of St. Nicholas Girls High School and Ang Jiaying and Alyssa Lim of Yishun Town Secondary. I always feel that every time St. Nicholas are facing their own, well, teammates or their own schoolmates, they play a different game. They come in a bit more confident. Probably that support factor might make a difference. So St. Nicholas lead by 4 points. In Yishun Town secondary, Al Salim fighting back along with Chij. What's so important is that you can actually talk about that. That's a whippersnapper. Al Salim. She likes to do that every now and then. And that's exactly what I was saying about these young ladies. They can just play a game where it looks like they wouldn't be able to get in a few shots past you. And then that wrist power. Now couldn't get entirely behind that shot to get it in control. So St. Nicholas lead as Chij serves for Yishun Town. Oh, could have finished that, and she knows it. Just a bit of frustration there for Al Salim. So it's Chij to serve. Was looking to finish that, may have been aided by the net, but she's not complaining. And I'm talking about Chij and Al Salim. The more the points, the merrier. But when you're playing close to the net, you just want to chop that ball that little bit. Key factor is that a lot of the players in today's contest, starting from the third and fourth, do not really use too much of side spin. And it can be such an effective tool in the middle of a rally, but it's also about depending on how your opponent has spun their shot. To 7 points, that's what St. Nicholas are at right now. Looking to get back in. It was the young girls from Yishun Town. Unable to get it on the surface. But she's done well so far. Chij and Colleen, they've had that entire understanding and sync as partners normally do. But in the fourth set of the doubles game, it is St. Nicholas who lead 9 points to 7. Well, almost does it. So Yishun Town now just a point behind St. Nicholas. Colleen will not be too happy about that. She did try to knock the ball back as best as she could. I'll make that 2 points behind St. Nicholas. That's where Yishun Town are. Wanted to finish that. But sometimes, well, the net might stand in the way. It's the angle of the racket that is so important for the bat, as we still like to call it. So there we go. The second, well, win for St. Nicholas as far as the sets are concerned. So they've got 2 sets each, and this is turning out to be a thriller of a game. So first, very interestingly, it was Yishun Town Secondary that claimed the first set, followed by St. Nicholas who took the second set. Again, Yishun Town won the third, and then St. Nicholas won the fourth. So we're down to really a 4-2 finish between Colleen Tan and Chij, and the 2 girls from Yishun, Chij and Al Salim. Stay with us as the action continues right here at the Naval Base Secondary School. So Chij starting off with the serve for St. Nicholas in the last and final set of this doubles encounter, where the girls have been laboring hard before us. And Yishun Town Secondary, they once again have got onto that side of the table, right in front of their teammates, not facing them, and they seem to be doing fairly well so far. But still early days in this last set. Oh, lovely finish there from Alyssa Lim. Beautiful finish, packed in a good bit of power. And if you ever see the girls fanning themselves all the time, you will know that it's fairly hot at that part of the room or the hall, for the simple reason that, well, you aren't allowed to have fans or coolers or the aircon on during a contest like, that's just a given for contests like badminton and table tennis, and the heat can be pretty much. Most of us who are covering this event, for us it's been an easier one today, but there are some days when we don't have the fan. But for players exerting that much, it tends to be a bit of a bother. So just a few mistakes from the Yishun goals. Remember, in the last and final set, you do change sides after a team reaches 5 points. That's a given. Well, St. Nicholas, it's Chij with a sign to Colleen. And Chij having her own little conversation with Alyssa Lim as well. And that's a point in the bag for Colleen and Chij of St. Nicholas. Wanted that finish. She wanted it. Alyssa decided to take it. Remember, this is a crucial game because whoever wins this game, it means that there'll be one match in the bag. Yishun would want it, but St. Nicholas need it. That's the difference between the two right here. So 8 points now as Chij serves for Yishun Town Secondary. Well, just a slight hesitation there from Chij, putting paid to that return of the shot. And Chij will serve. They'll just drag that a bit too far. Chij is trying to knock it back onto the table. Well, sign language will get you everywhere in table tennis. You should know that by now. It's been a while since we had any semblance of a rally. Well, almost had one here. Few unforced errors from the Yishun Town Secondary girls, and that's let, well, St. Nicholas step it up to 5 points. This is so crucial that both teams keep their nerve together. And it's 10 points with that lovely execution from Alyssa Lim. So it's pretty much game, set, and match point. Colleen Tan, well, did have a hand up in the air. And that's it. The finish for Yishun Town Secondary, they win the doubles encounter, and it was Ang Jiaying and Alyssa Lim with a 3-2 finish over Colleen Tan and Tijans of St. Nicholas Girls High School. So in the events as it stands, Yishun Town lead by 2-0. One more event for them to claim the final. So we get to that in just a little bit. It will be the second singles encounter of the matchup between the schools, where Aurey Ting and Wong Fan Chi will take on each other. Stay with us at the Naval Base Secondary School. Well, let's get you acquainted with our last results, which was the first singles event that happened between Joanna Little Sia and Angwan Yu, and that was won by Angwan Yu, who represents Yishun Town Secondary School, to give them the first win over St. Nicholas Girls School Secondary. Now, what's interesting is the second matchup was turning out to be quite a thriller, but finally it was Ang Jia Ying and Alyssa Lim of Yishun Town Secondary who claimed it 3-2 over Colleen Khan and T. Jans of St. Nicholas Girls High School. So that was a fine finish. Now what you're looking at really is the last bit, which is the next singles. And the next singles is the second singles of the clash. What's interesting about this is that there are two captains contesting each other. Wong Fan Chi. Fan Chi is the girl who captains Yishun Town, and she's wearing the black with the pink collar. That's their uniform. Rating. Our Rating is the captain of St. Nicholas Girls School. Well, very interestingly, both these girls like to play a balanced game. I was talking to the young lady from Yishun Town Secondary earlier, and she said she likes to pull out an aggressive move or an offensive move only when it's needed, not that she wants to use it all the time. On the other hand, our Rating says that she too prefers a balanced game, but goes in for the offensive when she can. And was just asking Rating about, St. Nicholas Girls High School and how they've actually, structured their table tennis. So she said that they practice about 2.5 hours, 3 times in the week. Sometimes it will go up till 7.5 to 9 hours. And their coach is Coach Wu, who has been with them for the last 19 or 20 years with the school. So first points will go the way of St. Nicholas and to Rating. She's got 2 points in the bag. So Coach Wu spending about 18 to 20 years with the school, and all these young ladies who trained in primary under him and secondary. So here we are with Rating serving while she's in the lead, was looking for that finish. She likes that looping forehand drive, but she likes it generated with a good amount of topspin. Does it with the backhand as well. Definitely the more offensive of the two players on the court right now. And that's Rating. Fang Chi, on the other hand, likes to keep it rather somber, but she's turning this into another close-neck battle. 5-all is where it sits at. Well served, I should say, by Rating. It's been a good bit of variation from her. This time, the Yishun Town captain, well, just going about her business very clinically. She's got that out of the table. Rating. Well, was looking for that finish. When you want to loop it sometimes, it can be so difficult. The best looping shots are always from, well, a bit of a distance from the table. You've just got to create that gap. The closer you are towards the table or the net, a looping forehand will 9 out of 10 actually send it out, unless you loop it really high enough and get a good amount of, well, turn on it. Lovely attempt to just finish the job there. So it's 9 points in the bag for St. Nicholas. Yishun Town now on 8. 9 all now. Can Yishun Town hold their own, or will St. Nicholas Girls High fight back to come back into this contest? Remember, they are 2 behind in sets, but in this game it is Rating who leads for St. Nicholas, 10 points to 9. She's on first set point. Here's the interesting bit. If you look at the 2 players on field, right in front of the table, well, Rating does like to harness the offensive as soon as she can, and on the other hand, you have Chij, just like a workhorse. She keeps at the game, no change in expression, no flamboyant moves. It's just very clinical, but it's about getting the job done. She's a point behind now, looking for the finish, and she's got it. Rating. Lovely execution there towards the end. Close fought battle, but St. Nicholas win it 12-10 as they lead in the first set. Lovely toss and serve from Rating, the captain of St. Nicholas Girls High Secondary. And she's got Chij as her opponent. Remember, this is a big event for the young ladies. The North Zone Division B girls event, being the final in the championship being played out by St. Nicholas Girls High Secondary and Yishun Town Secondary. What's very interesting is there are such contrasting styles of gameplay between the young ladies, and it's so important for these two who are right here at the table, both captains of their respective teams. Rating leads St. Nicholas Girls, while Yishun Town Secondary, the team captain is Chij. Well, it's so important normally for a captain to lead by example, inspire their team to win, and that's probably what Rating would be thinking right now. She's got a good game, likes to keep the ball low, got a few fancy shots in her armor, and that's what she uses. And most often, the only time she'll actually lose a point is not on the opponent's move, it's more on an unforced error, which is quite interesting. And that's exactly what I meant. She just needs to work on that area. She will get the better of this part. So it's 5-all here. Well, let's put that in favor of Rating, who's still on, who's in 6 now. Was looking to finish that backhand topspin. Was always my favorite shot, not just for the kill but for defense. But didn't have anything else in my arsenal of shots. But on the other hand, most of these young girls, they do play a very balanced game, and that may have worked in favor of Fang Chij, but she'll take it. She needs the points. She's a point ahead of her opponent. Very lovely finish there from Rating. So 7-all is where it stands. So it's 9 points. Now Rating does have a fancy serve. She'd like to serve that up, which is very interesting. And goes in for the side spin. Well, can be a bit difficult when you don't have the exact pinpoint of the destination of that ball. Well, she will stay in the game. It is, of course, a game point for Fang Chij. And that's, well, 1-all in the second singles matchup. Rating with 1 set, and by winning this 11-8, it's the captain of Yishun Town Secondary, Fang Chij, who's also got 1 set in the bag. So here we are into the third set of this very exciting matchup between the captains. And well, as I said, such contrasting styles of play between Fang Chij and Rating. Rating, of course, is the captain of St. Nicholas Girls High Secondary School. And Fang Chij, who captains Yishun Town. Well, just a lovely rally and that finish from Rating. That flick of the wrist to end it. Just have to wait for the opportune moment when you think your opponent is not ready to reply. Well done there by the captain of St. Nicholas. And that's another unforced error from her. Well, she's had a few of them, as I said earlier. And it's all about whether Chij can hold her calm, her temperament, and not allow it to change her gameplay, which has been very methodical. But Rating very, very keen on keeping her team in this contest. She knows how important it is for her. If she falls at this hurdle, it will pretty much be Yishun Town to claim the championship in the North Zone. So very important for her to fight back. Just a bit of frustration setting in for Rating, but not getting her shots right. A lovely return of serve this time from Chij. It's the second time around she's done it. Well, you would think that she's just returning the ball back normally, but you can see that angle of spin. Wanted to finish that Rating, but just unable to knock that through. So here we have it, Yishun Town and St. Nicholas Girls High Secondary very much on par in this third set. It's 5-all. Rating looking to, well, use all that she can with her energy and that. And she's got some good defensive moves, but it's just about whether she can, well, harness them at the right time. So a timeout, which will give the girls a chance to think their strategy in this particular matchup, which is proving to be a very grueling one for both ladies. So play has resumed in the third set. Rating bringing all that she can to this game. But she's a flamboyant player. Likes those jabs. Likes that finish. Goes in for the forehand drive when she can. Actually a very exciting player to watch. Could definitely have a bright future. She probably has to just work a little bit on some of those rough edges. And it's so interesting to see these young ladies and how they've been performing here. Absolutely marvelous form of discipline and focus that they've had. The amount of time that's gone into training. Such an important game here for St. Nicholas. And their captain Rating really trying to steer the ship at least into waters that aren't stormy for the time being, because she's the real hope here. But if she does win this game, St. Nicholas have a fighting chance if she loses this match against her contemporary, it's going to be a problem. I wanted that finish. Uses the thumb for good measure. Well, you would know that normally the thumb of the foot is not always, well, a sign of anything else, but more a sound of intimidation. While the girls do battle it out for their place as champions, let's not forget that the boys are battling it out for the same on a nearby court. Really wants to pack in as much as she can into this game, but unfortunately, well, that's turned out to be in favor of the Yishun Town secondary captain, who now leads by 2-1. And was just looking at the key flaw in a ratings game. She's got a flamboyant game, packs in a good bit of speed, has a very good serve, the ability to use spin when she needs to, but it's about those unforced errors. Just probably it could either be an impulse to smash or impulsive thinking when you just want to get the ball back in. So it depends on what each player uses in their arsenal. So currently, as it stands, it's Rating getting a few words from her coach, Coach Wu. And she's just looks like she's shaken up a little bit. There's a lot of pressure riding on her shoulders. Remember that if she loses this set, it's going to be, well, game, set and match for Yishun Town Secondary. So she's got to, well, just calm her nerves, play her normal game. She knows the importance of this game and what it means. And she was looking for, well, that finish, but sometimes, as I said, it can be difficult. You don't want to pull in those shots too often, but that's a natural style of play, and then it becomes difficult for you to alter that. It's just about getting those errors out of the way, just polishing those rough edges a little bit. And here she is looking a lot stronger now, Rating. Oh, lovely return. Absolutely marvelous play from Feng Chij. It almost looks like she's just standing there like a rubber board. Anything that goes, it'll come back. And let's not put it past her. That actually is skill. It is fine skill to be able to pull in those returns. Because sometimes what you need is just that slight bit of spin, whether it's back, side, top, it doesn't matter, but you need that bit of spin to get the ball back in. And she's a very interesting player. I've yet to see players who seem so, well, like they weren't doing much, but actually they are. And she's happy. That long rally and a worthy win here for Rating. She is happy. She needs to psych herself up a little bit, and that's what she's doing. Well, Feng Chij has just gone on with her normal game. So Rating taking the lead. And it's all about basically not pushing the envelope too much. Well, she's realized that, probably had a word with the coach about it. And that's changed her temperament for this game. Well, this is so important. So very important. For both the captains who are at the table right now. And a few unforced errors from Chij this time. She has given rating a slight advantage. And rating knows how important it is. She's got to keep that calm, keep those nerves together, not get overwhelmed by the moment. And she's done well to get back into this game. And she almost thought she'd finished it. Well, she is at set point, and if she does well win this, she will of course push this game to a best of 5, where it's already moved towards that, but she'll leave the decider to the 5th game. But currently it's 10 points to rating and 6 points for Chij. So she does win this set. It's now 2-all as we go on to the 5th set, and what an important game, so needed for St. Nicholas Girls High School to win this if they want to stay in the contest. If Yishun Town Secondary do win it, they will win the final. So one needs to win it, the other needs to stay in it. Let's find out what transpires in the last and final set of this singles matchup. Into the 5th and final set of the singles matchup. Ratings is trying to figure out what, well, her errors are before she progresses. Well, to talk to her earlier, and was asking her what is her favorite shot, and she said, well, it is the forehand well drive. She likes that the best. Very unique. Does use that side spin to good measure when she can. Well, on the other hand, Chij likes to keep it a bit more simple. And the strength of the Yishun Town captain would be her backhand. what's interesting is that Rating has got her to open up a forehand a couple of times over. It's probably after a conversation with the coach. Yishun Town Secondary still in the lead with Fang Chij on 4 points. Rating serves at 2 points for St. Nicholas Girls High Secondary. Let's talk about luck. If you want that edge to come, you want that edge to give you the edge as and when you really require it. So it's just a point behind now for Rating. And that's what I said that Rating's probably done. She's tried to manipulate the play to give or to make Fang Chij open up the bat a little bit more on her forehand. And we currently are at Yishun Town Secondary on 5. That's Fang Chij. Rating of Chij St. Nicholas High. She's on 4 points. A lovely rally till it lasted, and it's now turning out to be neck and neck here in this 5th and final set of the second singles matchup between these two schools. Well, to not forget that Yishun Town Primary, they put in about 7.5 hours of practice in total in a week. Normally it's about 2 sessions at 3 hours and more. While on the other hand, very interestingly, St. Nicholas Girls High Secondary, they have 3 practice sessions of about 2.5 hours each. And according to Rating, sometimes they go on to even 3 hours each. So fairly interesting. And for the first time, it was Fang Chij calming herself down. She knows how crucial these points are here. Rating still in the driver's seat by just 1 point. Now it's even Stevens back again. Oh, talk about a lucky break. And how could it work against you? That's almost like you had a helping hand to throw that back onto the edge. Well, I hate that when it used to happen to me. So, well, just a point that separates the two young ladies who are contesting this really exciting battle. And while you can love Rating's ability to use the side spin for her serve, it's been Fang Chij's return of serve that has really been so important. Oh, just using a good amount of backspin there. She knows how important it is to chop that close to the net. And that's what Rating has been doing. She's been fighting back. You've got to credit her for it. And here we have it, match point. But it's just a few points behind. Well, huge amount of nerves here for Rating. She knows how difficult it is. She's the captain. If she loses the third event, then it will be Yishun to finish off as champions of the North Zone Girls B Division. It's not the outcome Rating would have wanted, but Well, she's being careful here. She knows it's at one point that matters. She doesn't want a chance taking the smash if it doesn't land in. Well, that's got to be the longest rally of all the events that I've covered today. And it's a very interesting rally. And just notice how Chij has been controlling the direction of that ball, putting it where she wants to go almost. And that's pretty much it. A bit unfortunate here for rating, but a fine finish as Yishun Town Secondary have claimed the championship in emphatic fashion. The girls B division, it's been a battle. And to win this last battle, it was such a worthy finish. Captain against captain, rating of St. Nicholas against Chij of Yishun Town. And it's Chij who's claimed it 3-2 to win the championship. And here's how they won it. They finished off with the first singles where Angwan Yu pulled off a win 3-1 over Joanna Little Sia. And then it was followed by Ang Jiaying and Alyssa Lim defeating Colleen Tan and T. Jans, also in a very interesting battle. And that turned out to be, of course, a fight to the finish. And this time it was Chij who got the better of rating. Very interesting. I really did enjoy the last battle, but rating unable to steer that ship to shore. She did put in her best, and she did put up a real fight. So it's finished as Yishun Town Secondary School being crowned champions of the B Division North Zone in the 2021 event of table tennis, which of course, as I said earlier, is an initiative from Singapore School Sports Council, and this was the National School Games Badminton. Thank you so much for joining us to share the action of this event at the Naval Base Secondary School, and we will join you with more action tomorrow when other events kick in. But for now, thank you once again for supporting us and for supporting all these youngsters who so much need that one. And congratulations to Yishun Town Secondary for that brilliant performance, and to the fight, of course, put up by St. Nicholas. I'm Glenn Mascarenas saying goodbye. Time for me to shut shop and ship out of here for now.